Welcome back, battlers, to the road to GM. Today we have our first Pyromancer game of the series. You can see with Pyromancer we are gold 33.
Wow.
Of the 6 classes, I'm probably the worst with Pyromancer, so let's dive in and evaluate our gameplay and see where we can improve.
Someday, I will be a beautiful butterfly, and then everything will be better.
We snagged the on-sale banana, we snagged the on-sale spike. We'll combine that spike with our buckler for a free spiked shield. Didn't really want to go for the pan opener, so we send a reroll. And run into a little trouble here. We have 3 gold left, and there's not a weapon in sight. Let's take a closer look at that choice. Instead of playing it safe and just buying a pan, even though it's not really the weapon we want to use in the long run, we spent a gold to reroll in the hopes of getting another weapon, and we missed. We do get our second whetstone. I've got ideas of burning blade, and in order to craft that we need 3. So it's not all bad, but I'm not sure that sacking round 1 is the right play. At least with the pan, we have a good shot at winning our first round. Doesn't matter so much here in gold, but as you climb up the ladder and get closer to Grandma, these choices matter more and more. First battle we go in and we're fighting呼以哈嘿. Must be a name because it doesn't translate to anything in English. It's like the Chinese version of Jeff. And predictably, with no weapon, we lose to Chinese Jeff. Thankfully, going into shop 2, we hit on wooden sword, which puts us well on the way to burning blade, and solves our no weapon problem. So we throw it on our board next to the whetstone. It's set to craft a hero sword. We snag our second whetstone that we reserved last round, and now we have 7 gold left to play with. Over this past week, I've been playing some Pokemon Auto Chess, and it's got me thinking about the Autobattler genre as a whole. But one thing that I really appreciate about backpack battles is the unlimited time during the buy phase. A few years ago, I was playing Hearthstone Battlegrounds pretty competitively, which is Blizzard's answer to Auto Chess. And literally, if you were playing some of the longer animation classes like Pirates or some of the Undead builds, the animations would be so long that by the time the battle phase ended, it had used up all the time, so the buy phase was over. And you just go right into the next battle. So the only thing that you could do is, instead of watching the battle, you'd actually have to Alt F4 out of the game, and then load back in, and that would load you into the buy phase. And that's the only way you could get enough time to spend your gold. It was so dumb. It's not as bad in Pokemon Auto Chess or the other Auto Chess games, but it still exists to some degree. And I appreciate that Backpack Battles doesn't have this. In backpack battles, you're never going to lose a game because you didn't have enough time to execute your strategy. You'll lose because you're bad, you'll lose because you get pitted up against a board that counters your board. But you'll never lose because you didn't have enough time to spend your gold or organize your bag properly. We blew through our victory versus camps during our story time there. Turns out having a weapon is good. And the skill choices, nothing's very compelling here. We go Mana Mastery because it's on sale, and it opens the door to mana builds if we decide to go that way. See a pig, buy a pig, so we throw it on the board for a little econ play there. We get a shiny shell on sale as well. Ideas of Turbo Shelly in the future. And we got our third whetstone, so we have everything we need for Burning Blade. We put the 2 flames next to it to craft Burning Sword. And then we'll use the 2 whetstones next turn to craft that burning sword into burning blade. Into battle, we're fighting duck and duck. Not sure if it's referring to the bird or the action of crouching down to dodge something. Looking at the most important metric they have us beat, they have 2 pigs and we only have 1. Oh, and it looks like they're actually going to beat us. The second most important metric is who's left standing at the end, and we lost there too. Bit of a rough start. We head into round 4 with 2 losses, 1 win. The good news is our burning sword is complete, and we have all the materials for burning blade, so 1 craft away from our salvation. And this wonky snowman right here is what gives us the idea to go frost pyro. I've actually never played it before, so it should be fun. There's the option to go ice armor right out of the gate as well. We don't have enough gold, however, and I don't think it's worth reserving a leather armor that's not on sale, so we let it pass. Fighting the adventurer speechless, and you can see our build just has no gas. The heat gen is low. We're generating mana but don't have a use for it. Damage is anemic, and we have 0 sustain. So predictably, we lose to speechless, but the good news is our burning blade completes. Dropping 3 rounds this early, no way that is the right play, so we'll have to rethink how we ramp up this build. More good news in shop 5 in the form of a second pig. See a pig, buy a pig. We consider the Shield of Valor. It's a huge investment though, and I don't think it's what the build needs. So we pass it up. Reroll and hit on the potion for our Shelly. We are fighting the Russian Pyromancer, Chili Dog. Finally, our Burning Blade is online. Let's see how it holds up here. Bit of a slow fight, but we're getting there. Damage is still not quite where we want it to be, and we still don't have a use for this mana, but at least we stopped the bleeding.
I'm not dead! I'm not dead! I don't want to go on the cart!
Doing our best to avoid the game over cart, and it seems to be working. Shelly complete, so we set up for Turbo Shelly. We snagged the Fanny that we preserved. Love a good Fanny. 9 gold left. We're tempted by the leather armor yet again, but we end up just grabbing the Chili instead. We're fighting the ranger Akaran Pupute, which apparently is Sundanese for I am a puppy. I'll play the ignorant American pig dog. In that before this moment in time, I had no idea that Sundanese was even a language, but apparently mostly spoken in the western part of Indonesia, so that's cool. Build is finally starting to ramp a little, and ooh, what a shop! Not only do we have an on-sale Fanny, which combines 2 things that I love, on-sale items and Fannies, as we already established, but we have an Artifact Stone Heat, and not only do we have that, but we have the Sack of Stones, which pair really nicely together. So these stones, typically they only get thrown once. However, with the Sack of Stones, they get to be thrown multiple times, so we combo those together, and we're just going to be printing heat with it. So we buy all 3. We've been looking for a weapon to combo with our Burning Sword, and now we kind of have it, which is nice. Our see a pig, buy a pig policy is still in full effect, so we make some last minute adjustments to accommodate, and we're into battle. Very strange Berserker build from wwlice, and we clean it up without too much trouble. And we'll ease into shop 8.
And we'll ease into it real slow.
4 wins, 3 losses, and it's time to choose our subclass. That one snowman we purchased like 3 rounds ago is still in the back of our mind. The on-sale dragon nest is tempting. It's very tempting. But we stay true to our vision. Go Cryomancer, we picked the Frozen Flame. Now we're locked into Frost.
We greatly increase your ability to produce delicious, frosty,
Frost.
fast.
We can't say no to Ray Kroc, so we gotta get to work. Increase our ability to produce delicious Frosty Frost fast. We roll on an Amulet. Bit of a miss there, but we throw it on the board anyway. We snag a Stam Sack, buy that on-sale armor pot, and we're into battle. Apologies about the recording quality here. I don't know why we're dropping frames. I'll have to figure that out. But we're fighting sdlylyj, and they're running the infamous double snow stick build. And Frost Pyro is kind of a soft counter to this build. Those sticks stack frost on yourself and your enemy. And for us, with Frozen Flame, each stack of frost on our enemy gives us increased chance to crit and increased crit damage. So while they're slowing us down, they're also increasing our crit damage against them and our chance to crit, which is what makes this a cool little counter.
Classic pun.
Shop 9, we release our spiked shield from duty. It served us well, but it's time to let go. And we finally pick up the ice armor to juice our frost and give us some more defense. So I watched The Godfather last night. Still holds up, but it got me thinking, kind of about socializing and just connecting with others around you in general. And you gotta think, like, back when The Godfather dropped in 1972, like, you went and you saw The Godfather. And so did all your friends, all your relatives, and it gave this cohesive touch point, a shared experience that everyone could relate to because they've all been through it. They've seen the movie and you can talk about it with each other. Now with the internet, you have access to basically all media ever produced, and it's much more siloed. For example, how many of your coworkers are going to be watching this backpack battle video? I'd say unlikely. Feel free to share it with them though if you'd like. That would be awesome. Now, I don't want to present that the internet's a bad thing or that having access to media that really interests you personally is a bad thing. I just think that default common ground isn't there like it used to be back in those days. And you can kind of see it in The Tonight Show or any of those late night televisions. Like in the 60s, Johnny Carson's on. Everyone's watching Johnny Carson because it's like one of the 5 TV channels on the air. Now with all these options, I mean, you look, Stephen Colbert's show just got canceled. So there's just less, when you've got everything to choose from, suddenly that late night show is not as appealing. And everyone's choosing their own different things, so it's harder to connect based off the media that you like. Again, I don't think it's terrible. Just think you have to make a little effort to find people that enjoy the same things that you do. It's not just inherited by default like it was back then. Anyway, random media musings aside, we stomped K-Maple 5122. Frost armor's complete, so we're looking good there. We picked up Bagalicious, which is going to juice our fanny packs and stamina sacks. And we hit on the leather cap, which will combine with that stone potion which we got from last round to really juice our stun resist and crit resist. Still haven't been able to find a use for our mana. We'll see if one comes along. Board is looking good going out of shop 10 though, and we send into battle. We get paired up against the Ranger, the King of Apple Country. They're going a strange dagger spear build. They go into invuln, but we're frosting them up. They don't really have a way to remove it. And I'm proud of our build. It's working. It's working well. As the frost gets higher, our burning blade crits for more and for higher amounts. So we can look for ways to throw gas on our build by increasing the amount of frost we deal out, or we can boost the damage of our burning blade so the crits are higher. Two ways for us to kind of scale here. Quick shop 11, we roll another amulet. We get feasting, which is not super good for our build, but we throw it on. And we also throw some gloves of haste on our burning blade to juice it a little further. Fighting the Pyromancer, Remu Kiku 810. They've gone the Resurrection build and are going some kind of vamp with a double Bloodthorn. We pop his Resurrection. It's neck and neck. We get really low here, but we're able to clutch out a win. We had it the whole time. I wasn't nervous. Shop 12 brings us 2 fannies, a shelly, and a Devouring Sphere. Devouring Sphere is cool. They've been buffing it patch after patch after patch. It doesn't increase the amount of frost that we get, but it does scale with frost as well. So our Burning Blade scales with frost, and now we have these Devouring Spheres that scale with frost and give us vamp, so a little more sustain. This fight versus the Adventurer Dacko is just kind of a showcase for our build. You can see the frost just stacking up, and our armor's to the moon, that frozen armor just doing work for us. We end up going into fatigue, and we don't even take a scratch here. Our Devouring Sphere we reserved is waiting for us, along with another one, so we just double up and snag some blueberries as well, and then we're really off into the next battle. Simple as that. We flirt with the on-sale armor, but we're not having any armor issues, honestly, so we decide against it. Fighting the Reaper hanezimaizuru.
That's a lot to take in.
Yes, it is. But again, we get to see how our frost build holds up against the double snow stick. And you get to see that the first win was not a fluke. Despite having 50 cold on ourselves, we just don't care. Their cold stacks up and we just hit them harder, which is awesome. We secure the win and have the option to go into survival mode.
I didn't hear no bell.
Yeah, no bell.
Rocky and that cartoon pig are right. We can't throw in the towel now. I'm feeling really strong about our build, so we send it. Turbo Shelly completes, we get some more snowballs, and we reserve Snowmaster. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I just love Snowmaster for some reason, so of course we're picking it up. Fighting the mage Blubo, who's going like some kind of gingerbread Jerry build. We make quick work of it. Four rounds to go, we look for a few more ways to scale our build. We pick up the Snowmaster, which is going to juice our cold and give us some empower, and we throw a second Gloves of Haste on to our Burning Blade to juice that even further. Fighting the Adventurer Neighborhood Noakichi. They've got the Weapon Master build with the Mercury Elemental at the heart of it. Let's see how we do. We're melting them. The poison's stacking up, but we just don't care. Our heat is stacking, our cold is stacking. We're just going to town, and the poison stacks don't even matter. We have so much armor from our ice armor, it's just crazy. Really proud of how this build is shaping up. It seems really good. We get some more space. We get a Draconic Orb for extra crit. We get the Corrupt Crystal and throw it in our armor. That gives us even more armor as we inflict frost. And as we watch our battle against Hanse unfold, let's think back to the start where we were just losing up a storm. When I was little, I'd play the snowboard game, SSX Tricky. I'd go through the first jump, and if I didn't nail it exactly perfect, I would go through it and restart. And there's something to nailing that first moment and starting off well, but at the end of the day, sometimes you just gotta let it ride. Even if you aren't doing too well at the start, you adapt, you overcome. You stick it through to the end, even if it gets tough, and maybe surprise yourself. Second to last shop, we pick up Lil'Chestnut, this strangely named chest. It's gonna give us more of the buff that we have the most of, which is cool. We love that. A little rearrange, rethink, we get a gem sack on there. Get another leather cap, we'll craft that into another stone helm for more crit, more stun resist. Always a good thing, especially in the late game. Fighting the ranger, bye. And we're going to do onto them what their name implies.
Smooth.
Again, sorry for the frame rate here, don't know quite what was going on, I'll have to check that out. You can see even with the 2 frames per second that we're just dominating, and it feels good. Last shop, we throw in a crown. We set to craft a king's crown, but it's the last shop, so we're not going to see that craft ever. And then we throw on a divine potion under our shellies. It's going to juice them a little bit further, which is all good for us. And we're into the last battle versus TrenxU. Sounds like a for-profit college that I'm going to get scammed from. Very close battle. We get to see how we shape up against the double axe, though. Frost is just so good. It's just slowing everything down for him, and despite all of his buffs, we're speeding up with our heat, he's slowing down with our frost, and even though that double axe is scaling to and hitting us pretty hard, we're able to clutch this out. And that's all for the run. I hope you enjoyed our first Pyromancer build of the series. Quick little channel update. Working hard here to improve just the quality of the videos, and in addition we'll be testing some new kinds of content, so if you're into a certain type of content that I'm making, let me know via the comments, let me know via the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. That's all from me. Until next time.